Crafty friends. Hi, Diane and Betty and Mary and let's see. I know there was somebody else there. Brenda. Hi, guys. How you guys doing? Oh, I'm excited. Today we are going to start into our sparkling season. And the consensus of the group, you probably noticed in the newsletter, it didn't say what order I was doing them in because I didn't know if there was a prescribed order for them yet. But I understand we're doing which one is this called? The Winter Wonderland, which is the deer and the sheep and the hare. So that should be fun. Let's take a look at our kit and see what we get in here. We get the Sparkling Season Topper Set by Hunkydory. Let's look at this. This is just amazing. This is the one that's got lots of peach tones in it. It's beautiful. Here's a topper. Can you make me small so my hands are big, please?
Say hi.
I did. Oh, hi, Glenn. Welcome, friend. There we go. This is the one we're doing today. Look at that holographic foiling. It's just amazing. It's amazing. Oops. It's even more amazing when I don't drop it. That's gorgeous. Look at these deer. Oops. These deer are better on their feet than on their heads. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And then we've got the beautiful forest scene. These are just so gorgeous. I absolutely love these cards. Love them, love them, love them. Okay, there's a single sheet in this kit that I thought, oh, that's not as good as the others. Every one of them is beautiful. So in addition to our kit, and Brittany, did we put together some list some without the set? Okay, Brittany has listed some that do not have the topper sets in them for those of you who are asking. I know Maria was asking, and probably some of the others. So this kit includes two 4x8 cards, also known as DLs. We've got a couple, let's see, we've got this beautiful blue background card from our Adorable Scoreable pack. Where's the gray, Brittany? I don't see the gray in this kit. Maybe it's here. No, that's silver. Oh, oh, maybe you gave me silver Miri instead of gray, which is fine. Okay, I get it. Never mind. Huh?
Did I give you silver?
Yeah.
Oh, yep, I wasn't paying enough attention.
Well, that's okay. You guys get silver Miri instead of gray.
What?
Adorable Scoreable. That's all right.
You upgraded them.
Yeah, Brittany gave you an upgrade. And you get two pieces. Yeah, this one too. You get two pieces of Adorable Scoreable. No, you don't. You get two pieces of Miri for the A6 cards. And you get 4 European A6 cards. That's right there. And you get envelopes for all of the above. You get some beautiful pink organza ribbon, and you get some foam squares. Not included, but highly, highly recommended for this kit is some stickles. If you were not able to get stickles, we should have some in just a few days. There is some on order. So let's take a look at what we're going to make. Here's our beautiful sheep, and you can see the stickles on our trees. Isn't that beautiful? Maybe you can come in just a little closer, honey, so they can really see the sparkle. There we go. Oh, that's beautiful. Good shot. There we go. Hi, Betty McSorley. I will definitely tell Bob happy birthday for you, Mary. He got lots of birthday greetings, and he is delighted with his new squirrel presence. He was all tuned in outside when he and Bryce were talking about where they were going to put the new squirrel feeders. We are going to have the fattest squirrels, I'm telling you. Did you guys see the newsletter and the picture of the squirrel laying down eating out of the feeder? I just thought that's adorable. This one says seasons bleedings, guys. Okay. And we've got our hare. I love this rabbit too. He's so pretty. We got the rabbit. And yeah, that little squirrel she just made me feel for her. It was very obvious she had just had babies and she was tired. So tired and hungry. So she was laying there with her feet out behind her and just indulging. And she was eating fast. I mean, she was going through those sunflower seeds like nobody's business. Hi, Melody. Welcome from France. Oh, I'm so glad to see you there today. Excellent. Well, it's really nice to have you with us, Melanie. Okay, we are going to go ahead and let's go ahead and tie the pink bow for this card so that we can get the best glue ever on this and drying. So let's get that done first. So when we're ready to use it, we stand a chance that it will be ready to go. I'm going to tie this. Now I'm using the pink bow maker, but you could be using the red one or the blue one. The measurements would be the same. You want to tie a 3-4-3 bow. We kind of have a small space to fit it in there where we have the tags coming in from both sides or from the sides. So I'm just going to tie a smaller bow here today, I think. Let me look at it. It may end up being a 4-5-4, but let's see how this is going to look. I think this is going to look too small. Okay, I take it back. We're going to do a 4-5-4 because it just looked too small.
Hi to Maria.
Hello, Maria. Hey, Brittany. Oh, she said, please thank Brittany. I was just going to say, Brittany listed your kits for you. But you were faster than me, Maria. She says, thank you, Brittany. Brittany smiles and says, you're welcome. Okay, so as usual, we're going to go 3-4-3. You can almost not see this ribbon on this pink bow maker. I tell you, it just disappears. We're going to go ahead and tie this off. If you don't know what I'm doing, please watch our bow maker video because it is going to be a wealth of information for you because lots of our cards use beautiful bows and we're going to teach you how to tie those. So there's our beautiful bow all ready to go. Quick and easy, just like that. This is not wrapped around the card, so I'm going to go ahead and clip this off. Clip this off and create some pretty little whale tails at the end. As usual, I'll make a taco. I'll clip upward and out towards the end of the ribbon. And there we go. Pretty little bow already. Okay. Whoop. Okay. Let's get a little bit of best glue ever on here. And we don't want to overdo it ever. We especially don't want to overdo it when we're working on organza because we don't want to soak through the ribbon and have sticky all over. So we're going to go very lightly with our forming little lines, not puddles. You want lines, not puddles of glue. And this will dry wonderfully and will not be sticky from the front. So just little lines of glue. We'll set that aside and let that dry till we're ready for it. Okay, I'm going to grab this partially used sheet of foam squares so I can give Brittany back this half. Okay, she's got me trained really well now, guys. Although, I don't know, she told me just a little bit ago that I go crazy sometimes buying things. She said, "You went crazy buying magnets. You just went crazy buying magnets." I said, "But the magnets are for albums." And she said, "Yes, and you went crazy buying them." Well, we're going to start with a DL card today because I think they're fun. Hi, Mary G. Welcome. Good to see you there. Is France 8 hours ahead of us? I know England is. I don't know if you're in the same time zone, though. Let's get this blue adorable scoreable. And let's do this pretty one of the sheep first. I'm liking this a lot. I love the way these colors play together. So let's put this on here. We'll get some tape down. And always remember UK's 8 hours ahead, because in order to catch Hunkydory at their opening time at 10 a.m., I have to call at 2 a.m. 1 hour ahead of England. So does that mean that you're 7 hours ahead of us or 9 hours ahead of us? You must be 9 hours ahead of us, I'm guessing. Okay. All right. Let's get this adorable scoreable down on our card. Here we go. We'll go ahead and put this down. You're welcome to join us, Alejandro, if you want to. 1:15 in France. Okay. Okay. So you're making a sacrifice to hang out with us. I'm glad you're making that sacrifice, though, because it's fun to have you with us. All right. So we've covered our card. Let's make sure that everything looks good. I have a tiny little bit of white at the bottom of my card. So I'm going to trim that off because, there's no mistakes. It's just a little baby snafu. So I get rid of that. And then I have no white at the bottom of my card. Now it looks good again. My table sure looks rough. That's because I've been doing all kinds of alcohol inking and things and not taking all the appropriate precautions. So forgive how ugly my table looks. It just happens to me when I don't behave properly. All right. I know that this card is 4 inches wide because I measured them regularly, but now it's actually 3 7/8 inch wide. So see, that's why we measure. 3 7/8 inch wide means that if I want my blue to show around the outside, I need to make this 5 5/8 inch wide, or excuse me, 3 5/8 inch wide. So let's get this 3 5/8. Make sure I get a nice, clean, straight cut. And I'm going to take a little bit off the top because our cards are 8 inches tall and Adorable Scoreable is 8 1/4 inches tall. So I'm going to take a little bit off. And I also took a tiny, tiny slice off the bottom. So I'm going to make this just a small amount under 8. You can hear Teddy playing with his ball here at my feet. He is picking it up and dropping it to let me know that he's there. and prepared to play if I would just stop being so rude and ignoring him. There we go. I love that. That looks beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. You know, I did not do a lot with this set. You know what I didn't talk about? I did not talk about the beautiful snowflakes that Brittany gave you in our kit. Now I'm trying to find them because I know they were here. I saw them when I opened the kit. So what did I do with the snowflakes? Did I knock them off on the floor? That's usually the first place to look. I have more foam squares on the floor. I'm glad Teddy has progressed to a point where he no longer feels necessary to chew on the foam squares he finds on the floor. Huh. I have lost my packet of snowflakes. I happen to have one here from when I was cutting up lots of snowflakes, so I guess I could just use these. But I wonder what I did with them. There they are. Yes, just look on the other side on the floor. And there they are.
Did you answer Betty's question? Is that the sheep?
This is the sheep. I'm working on the sheep. And I just took the edge off of my cardstock. I covered my cardstock with the blue Adorable Scorable from your kit. And then I trimmed myself a slice that is 5 5/8. No, it's not. It's 3 5/8 inch wide. Why am I having that problem? I don't know. Hi, Roberta. Welcome, friend. Okay. Let's get these sheep lined up straight. Teddy's just picking that up and dropping it, and picking it up and dropping it, and picking it up and dropping it right next to my foot. Did you take all the fuzz off that ball? Yes, you did. Minutes ago, this was a pink ball. He took all the felt off already. And he doesn't appear he removed the squeaker. Yep. That's his first job, is to remove the felt from the tennis balls. I don't know why he finds it necessary to do that, but he does. So it's not your sound on your TV and you don't have a ghost. If you hear that little reverberating sound there, that's Teddy picking up and dropping his ball at my feet over and over and over again, just to say, hey, Mom, I'm ready to play. I'm going to take the little, it doesn't matter which snowflake you use where, guys. In fact, I think the snowflakes that are included in your kit may be a bit random. That's all right. Huh?
Extremely random.
Oh, Brittany says they are extremely random. I'm just going to weed out the little extras. And then I think I'm going to use the bigger one on this because I have a little more space on this card than I do on some. So let's go ahead and use this bigger one, if you have a bigger one in your kit. I think yours will vary from mine. When I hear very random, that actually makes me think, yep, we may all be different. They are all different, she says, so it doesn't matter which one we choose. But I do like that one there. That's beautiful. These snowflakes come from the, what's our die called, Brittany? It's right there. Splendid Snowflakes from Hunkydory, and they truly are very aptly named. They are really quite beautiful. My Nouveau glue pen. Believe it or not, I've been so busy outside, I haven't even unpacked all the stuff I took to the beach with me. I guess I could do it with, there's another way I could do this. I like to use my Nouveau glue pen, as you know, to put my glue on the back. But since I don't see it right here, I'm going to do another technique I often do to put glue on the backs of things, and that is I'm going to put a random amount of glue on my paper, just a little bubble of glue on a piece of scratch paper, and I'm going to dip. And I'm going to dip. And I'm going to dip in such a way as to hopefully not get it on the front of my snowflake, but just the back. And there we go. So that can be a good way to get glue on the backs of things too. Okay, there we go. Pretty, pretty. All right. The only thing left to do with this card right here, well, there's two things left to do. I did not grab a set of inserts for this because these are all very straightforward to insert. And you've seen me do that dozens of times. So I did not grab a set of inserts, but I'm still working on those Stickles bottles that are almost empty. I have them standing upside down here trying to get every last little bit of Stickles out of them. So you probably see me really squish these bottles to try and get every last little sparkle out of these bottles, because I don't like to waste anything. I know you don't either. And what I'm doing as I'm glittering this is kind of following the white lines of the snow. That's a really nice indicator they give us to where the sparkles would go. So just kind of follow some of those white lines. It's a pretty sure thing, Mary R., that I'm going to tempt you this week because I try to tempt you every week. It's a practiced skill, and I'm fairly good at it. Hi, Pauline. Good to see you, friend. Oh, I kind of got that a little heavy there. I'll spread that out a bit. Pick up a little bit and move it. It won't matter when it dries, but I don't like big globs. I like little delicate lines. Mary says I'm the best at it. Oh, you guys are funny. Okay, whoops. All of a sudden, this little bottle decided it's just going to really come out of there. So I'll just spread it around a little bit. Okay, got a little bit in my tree there. Now I'm going to put a little bit on my hillside, right along the top of that hill. It's really there for impression. It doesn't have to be absolutely accurate, just to add kind of some texture and dimension. Then I'm going to get a little bit in these trees because these trees need it, don't you suppose? And when I do the trees, I just wiggle the glue bottle back and forth just a little bit, just to get a little bit of sense of movement. But these little tiny trees don't have enough detail in them to try and follow branches. It's just kind of going back and forth a little bit. Okay, this one's hurting my hand, but there's still some in there, so I'm going to keep turning it upside down. I'll probably use it again on a different card. Okay. And I'll grab my bottle I know has a lot in it and be more careful because I know it's going to come out. Just a little squiggly line there over these trees is good. Teddy doesn't give up. He's still down here picking up and dropping that ball. I have a little snow built up around the base of the trees. I'll put that in. Then I'm going to put a little bit around on the ground, especially in front of the sheep's feet.
Remind them what this kit's called.
This kit is called Winter Wonderland. It is part of the sparkling season kit. There we go. I think we got enough glitter glue on there. Let's take a look at what we have for finish card. There we go. Wow. A sparkling season. This is one of the later releases for Christmas this year, Melanie. And it's my favorite release of all the Christmas releases for this year. I really love it. Okay, that's one down. We got 5 to go because we got 5 cards from this one kit. Let's do our other A4 card, or excuse me, DL card. Boy, I can't get my numbers straight tonight, guys. Bear with me. I'm going to use this silver mirror board on here. And I'm going to go ahead and cover this. Mary said I'm like Kraft's kryptonite. Or Maria, no. Well, we actually prefer squirrel feeders to bird feeders in our household for one simple reason, and her name is Taz. Taz, the kitty, is our only outdoor cat. We have 5 cats in total in our household. Yes, 5. We had 3, and Bob moved in with 2. So we have 5 kitties in our household, and Taz is the only cat that's allowed outside. She was a stray. We caught her outside, or Brittany did. And she has never tolerated in her entire life the idea of being penned up in the house. She just won't. She makes us miserable. We don't let her out at night because we have coyotes around. So that's the one rule with Taz that we hold hard and fast to. But I have to spray her with a water bottle or throw something that won't hurt her at her to get her to stop scratching at the door at night to let her out, because she's a menace. She is an absolute menace. And she is the most adept hunter you have ever seen. So we don't encourage a lot of birds around because Taz will get them. And so squirrels, on the other hand, are big enough that she does not mess with the squirrels. And not that she wouldn't if she were hungry, but she's never allowed to get that hungry. So we feed the squirrels and not the birds. In the winter, if it was a really harsh winter or something, we would feed the birds. But anywhere, having the bird feeder anywhere close to Taz is not doing the birds a favor. Because she's a menace, like I said. I'm going to trim this just a little bit more. It appears that my line was not quite as straight as it could have been, and that would bother me. That looks great. Okay. Yeah, so it wouldn't be doing our birds any good. But the squirrels, she doesn't seem to mess with for some reason that I truly don't understand. I'm going to cut this one a little less than 8 inches. No, this is 8 1/4, so I'm going to go 8 inches. 8 inches and try it. But he has new squirrel feeders. They ate one of them, the squirrels did. They just started munching on the edges of it and have pretty much eaten up the squirrel feeder. So one's a replacement, and one is a new metal one that hopefully they won't eat. But the new additions are that he has, instead of all sunflower seeds, now he has peanuts. I got him 25 pounds of peanuts, and he has kind of a mixed squirrel food that will give his squirrels some variety. I'm still trimming just a little here and there to get that to have just the margins I want. I'm using the silver mirror board because it's kind of the closest to the gray backgrounds in this piece. This doesn't have a lot of, in fact, it doesn't have any foiling on this piece. So I'm going to use the silver background, then I'm going to add the iridescence with my stickles. And that might be why she's better with the squirrels. I'm not sure, because some of the squirrels, some of the squirrels are fairly small, but they won't mess. She doesn't mess with the squirrels. We have about 3 different varieties of squirrels that come in. We have gray squirrels, we have red squirrels, and then we have these little really tough squirrels that chase all the big ones away from the feeders. They're really tough. They're about half the size and they charge the big ones away. And then we also haven't seen him lately, but we have a very rare black squirrel. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, so I looked it up. And about 1 in 10,000 births for squirrels is a black squirrel. And the black squirrel, they speculate, is a hybrid of 2 of the others, and it comes out with a different color pattern. And it is really pretty. It's almost entirely black. When you catch it in the light, it's got a little bit of red tone to it, but according to the Oregon State website that I was looking at, they say that this hybrid may become the dominant over time because he has better camouflage than the other squirrels have. He has better camouflage, and his dark color keeps him warmer, which is interesting. So, yes, we have a rare black squirrel that comes in. The number of squirrels we have at any given point in time kind of varies. Sometimes we have just 3 or 4 out there, and other times we've had as many as 8. I was telling Bryce's sister that. She said, "That's not a hobby, that's an infestation." But Bob loves his squirrels. He loves to feed them, and that's one of his chores. He goes out every day, sometimes twice a day, and fills the squirrel feeders. And then he sits there on the bench near the feeders and watches them by the hour. He really enjoys them a lot. So it's nice for him to have a hobby that he's enjoying. And his cats enjoy them a lot because they're in their catio just feet from the squirrel feeders. And they watch them and click at them. And
Patty cut her card the wrong way because she couldn't see what you were doing.
uh-oh.
So she needs help to fix that.
Okay, so let's see. I cut the card. Let's see. Which way was it cut? Was it cut long way? If it was cut long way, you're going to be okay, Betty. I think you're going to be fine. If you cut it this way, Then you have beautiful foresty pattern. Oh, you have this green pattern out there. Okay, get yourself some. Okay, let's see. If I had this pattern out here to the side, the one thing I would probably think about doing is I would think about cutting this down to an A6. That would be a one way to do it, the wrong end. Wrong end. So you cut the 4 inches off of this side. Don't worry about it. Look here. We're going to use those. We're going to use those. Just go ahead and cut the deer off the other side. You'll be fine. You're going to be just fine. I will do it. I will tell you more about what I'm doing because I'm sorry that I wasn't clear. Just cut your deer off the other side. Keep that 4-inch slice, and you're going to be fine. No matter which direction this is cut, you're going to have enough material to do your cards because it's all that green. So you're good. Just cut the other side off. Okay? I'm sorry, but I will do better. Okay. So anyway, yeah, Bob, he loves his squirrel feeders and his kitties love them too. Okay. So I've done my outlining with my stickles here. And once again, I'm just kind of following the snow. I'm kind of going where I have snow buildup on the branches. Hi, Annette. And now I'm going to come in, and this tree, this evergreen tree in here, it has lots of detail. So I'm going to slowly just go through and I'm going to tap little bits of stickles right over the white areas. Because we've got some nice branches and things, I can kind of follow those branches a little bit. I can kind of tap some stickles right over the snowy areas, kind of come back and forth on some of them, kind of follow those branches. The bigger you get towards the bottom, the more you can kind of follow what the branches are doing. And just cover some of that snow with your stickles. There we go. There we go. And that looks beautiful when we get that more glitter going in that evergreen tree. Isn't that gorgeous? Ooh, you can see the sparkle in those branches. The final thing I want to do with the stickles is I want to come in and kind of hit the base of the trees a little bit like I did before, right around the hooves of the deer, because the snow would be kind of roughed up a little bit there. And I could put a little bit out on the ground here and there. Just a little bit, kind of following those shadows a little. Just a little bit. Not a lot on the ground. Just a little bit. And there we go. How beautiful is that? Bob loves animals of all sorts. When he watches TV, his favorite TV shows are the zoo. He likes both the one about the Bronx Zoo and the one about the San Diego Zoo. He loves to watch those. He loves to watch nature documentaries. He likes all kinds of animal shows. And I still need to put my snowflake in. So I'm going to reach carefully so I don't mess up my stickles I just put in. Then I'm going to knock the detail piece out of my snowflake. I'm going to get that piece of cardstock here that I was using that I kind of swirled the glue around on. I'm going to put another little pool of glue there. I'll smooth it out a little bit so it's not so deep. There we go. And that'll keep it from coming up on the edges in between parts of my snowflake. And I'm just going to dip it gently. Just dipping it in that light pool of glue to kind of get some glue on each of my little pieces. And I'm going to come up here and I'm going to put this in the lighter spot right at the top of my card.
What's the name of the stickle you're using tonight?
Same one I've been using. This one's called Stardust, but you can use Stardust, you can use diamonds, you can use, there's about 3 of them that are the iridescent stickles. What's the other one, Brittany? Diamonds, Stardust, Twinkle. Twinkle's another one, I believe, of the iridescence. There we go. Number 2 card is finished. I'll lay that one on the top of the other one and let those stickles dry. Oops, didn't turn my phone off. Did you guys all bring your boxing gloves today? Are you ready for boxing? There we go. All right. Now, okay, let's get out one of the green ones so we can work on those ones that you have cut, Betty. It's okay. It's all going to be fine. Okay. We can take one of those greens and we can cover one of your European A6 cards. We're just going to cover it directly in the... Hi, Thelma. Welcome. Okay. And I'm just going to cover this directly with a piece of this beautiful snowflake. Now, if your snowflake paper is slightly narrower, Betty, than your card, don't worry about that. Just trim the card a little bit to fit. It'll be fine. It's going to be fine, friend. All right. I like all the Rocky movies too, Annette. One More Way, the twins are like. Okay. And I'm going to just cover my card with a piece of my green. This is going to leave me with enough of my green left that when I use my mirror board, I can cut it slightly. This piece will be slightly narrower, but it'll work just fine because I'm covering my card with Mary first. There we go. So I have my snowflake paper right on my card. That looks great. Let's punch out our deer from our topper sheet. We've made 3 cards in, or this is our 3rd card, and the first time we've touched our topper sheet in this set. This has a 2-piece frame. I'm going to put some foam squares under this. As soon as I figure out what I did with them, look to my left. Okay. All right. Good to have you out there, Roberta. I'm glad you're feeling better, babe. Thelma, I'm glad to see you too, friend. Okay. Hey, Roberta, you might tell people that your house issues are temporarily resolved. I know people have been concerned about that after your big scare with the rent increase. They might like to know that that's under control now, for at least the time being. Okay, I put my outer frame on foam squares. Just attached it to my card. I'm going to put one of my snowflakes here in the corner, in the upper corner, because that's going to look good there. It's warm in here, and my glue on this is just drying really rapidly. I'll recap my stickles, or I'll be sorry. Okay, I'm going to smear my glue around a little bit so it's thin. And I'm going to dip my snowflake so all of the little ends are covered. And if you spread your glue out good before you do that, you won't get a lot on the face of your snowflake that you have to clean off. Okay, I'm going to put this piece down inside. Hi, Andrea. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Oh, good turnout today. I'm still using that same glue bottle I complained about last time that must have some kind of a clot in it up inside because it runs good for a while and then it decides it doesn't want to. So I have to use a pen on it a lot, which is no big deal. But now I'm going to glue this topper piece inside, and I'm gluing that flush to the card so it kind of gives me almost an impression of looking out a window, which is pretty. And my last thing to do on this is that I used this to a wonderful couple. If you didn't want to restrict it to a couple's card, you could leave this off entirely, and that would be fine. But I'm going to put it on there because I have lots of couples I send cards to.
Did they make two versions of this kit? Melanie says she has this kit, but it doesn't have the sparkle. It's just plain.
Really? I don't know. Maybe they made a different version for Europe. I don't know. Huh. This is the only one that's been released here. Huh. Okay. We have that. I'm going to put a little stickles on this. Not a lot because it's a small picture, but I'm going to put a little bit of stickles on it just to kind of accent it even more. Just a tiny bit. I have this nice evergreen tree back here that is smaller in this one, but still has. Yeah, I haven't heard of that, Melanie. That's interesting. Spread my glue out a little thinner in places. All I'm doing is using the tip to kind of spread it out a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit of glue of this glitter glue up in the tree where I have heavier snow lines, just the heavier ones this time. I do know that sometimes Hunkydory will reuse art too. So it's possible they've released this in a prior season without all the fancy foiling on it too. I don't know. Putting a little bit around the feet of the deer. And here we go. Here's our beautiful, sparkly, finished card. Okay. All right. Let's stack those up. That's 3 of 6 finished. How are we doing on time, hon? 4:52. So 52 minutes, 3 cards, including our intro. Not bad. Let's go ahead and use that final piece we had off of this cardstock. We're going to get another European A6 card out here. This time I'm going to cover this card with silver mirror board. I'll go ahead and get some tape lines down. Did I bump up both pieces on that topper? Yes, I did. Here is the first ring, and then that's a great question, Diane. I put the little topper, the To a Wonderful Couple, that's on foam squares also. So I have 2 different layers of foam. I don't think you can see it that way. Maybe you can see it this way. There you go. There you can see it. There's 2 different layers of foam in that card. One on the frame and one on the couple. Good question. Thank you. Okay. That's great, guys. Be sure you ask. And if I'm doing something that's messing you up, you be sure and tell me, because that's super important. Perfect. Okay, let's peel the tape on here. We're going to put that A6 silver cardstock on this one. Come on. And this silver is going to be slightly bigger than my card. So once I get it down there, I'm using that tape that's slightly repositionable. Don't always count on being able to do that, but I had a white spot along my seam, so I popped it up. Okay. I'm going to take my scissors and just trim around my mirror board, trim off the extra piece around my card. There we go. So I have my card covered in my silver mirror board. I'm glad you guys are working along this time. I love that. It makes me so happy when you're working along with me. Very, very happy. Okay, now look here. This leftover piece we have with our mirror board on is the perfect size to be our next layer. So we're going to trim this down. My card is 5 and 7/8 inch. So I'm going to start by trimming this to 5 and 5/8. And I'll test my fit. And if I like it, I'll go with it. If I need to trim a little more, I will. I think I could trim just a tiny bit more off. So I'm trimming just a little bit more off of it. And that looks great. Okay, so I'm going to use my tape flags. And I'm going to tape this layer in place. In case you're wondering, in case you ever experience a similar situation, what helped with Roberta's housing situation was a letter to her state senator indicating that she, as a senior, was being faced with an overwhelming challenge and that her rent was increasing more than $500 a month. And she had the choice of moving, which she didn't have the physical capacity to do, or paying, and she didn't have the financial capacity to do. I asked her senator to get in touch with her immediately and see what he could do to throw some resources behind helping her. And between the state senator and the director of housing for the state, they have helped straighten all of this out for her and gotten it all back under control. So never underestimate what your voice as a taxpayer can do, guys. And ask for help when you need it, because, that's why we pay them. And so I just wanted to let you know that there's a lot of cynicism these days about our government, but they are on payroll to provide assistance to us as taxpayers. And an urgent letter can produce great results. So I think it's fair to say that Roberta State Senator went above and beyond to help. So pretty much the director of housing and the state senator says, not right, shouldn't be done, can't be done, we're on it. And they took the situation over for her and negotiated a new rent amount that's more reasonable. And I hope that's not saying too much, Roberta. I wanted to, there you go. Thank you for mentioning his name, because this time we're using the hair topper and I popped it apart in two pieces. I mounted the frame about an inch down on my card, kind of towards the top, skewed a little more towards the top, and put some foam squares under that. Okay. The next thing we're going to do once we have that down is we're going to mount Have a Magical Christmas, leaving a little bit of a gap here at the top. You can see that, right? We're going to leave a little bit of a gap. And we're going to put the Magical Christmas like this. So we're going to put foam squares under these two edges here and here. We'll tack that down. So I'm going to put some foam squares. I'll put a couple there on each side so I'm sure to catch them. There we go. And we attach those on. Okay, now take your bunny, and on your bunny, we're going to rest the top part of the bunny directly on the ring, and we're going to put a few foam squares on the bottom of the bunny to hold it up and firmly in place. So I kind of put them on the right side of the bunny. I'm going to put a few foam squares on the bunny. And then peel those. And I'm going to rest this frame right on the frame. I'm going to rest this right on the frame of my card. Now it won't hurt if you want to put just a dot of glue on either side there to hold that, to help hold that bunny stationary, because they'd like to get away, as we know. Bunnies are clever little creatures. And now we have this beautiful card. There we go. So that is our third. If you wanted to put a little stickles on here, it didn't last time, but let's put a little bit. Oh, I also wanted to put my snowflake up here. Let's do that too. You may or I don't know how many snowflakes Brittany put in each of your kits. I think mine had 4. If you want to use a different die and cut a couple extra snowflakes, it's always kind of nice to have, but you don't have to. It's just a matter of personal preference. I'm putting them on the first 4 cards out of the ones that Brittany did for me, and then I think I might use some of my spares here to put them on all of them, because like I said before to you guys, I kind of like to have a signature to some of my card collections that I do. And my signature this time on this set is this added snowflake to every card. Why? I don't know, because it makes me happy. Okay, I'm going to add just a little stickles to the taller tree in there. And I think I'll add a little stickles, just a little, to this grass in front of our bunny. Just kind of a little up and down motion there. And there you go. Okay, that's 4. 4 of 6 finished. Okay, now let's go to the, oh, Teddy's still in here. Bryce left the room for a minute, but Ted's still here and still being heard from. I love this foiling on these. Andrea, I agree. It just glimmers. It's so beautiful. With lesser art, I don't know that the that the foiling would be as beautiful, but this holographic foil on these snowy scenes is just enchanting. It's really beautiful. The next one we're going to do will be our sheep. We want the arched sheep at the top. It's a 3-piece frame. So pull that out and set it aside. We're going to put this arched frame on our cardstock. I really like these snowflakes at the top, so I'm going to take a little bit of a non-traditional approach here. And I'm going to use this part, the upper part of my cardstock, and I'll be cutting off the lower part of my cardstock because I love the trees in the background. And I love this holographic foiling up here. I don't want to lose that. So let's go ahead, get our next card out here. We have 2 European A6s left. This one we're going to put directly. We're going to put the cardstock directly to the card. And I'm going to put down 3 rows of tape, as is my norm. Oh, Melanie, I get those little shout downs once in a while too. I tend to use my phone in bed at night. I know that's terrible sleep hygiene. They tell you not to do that. But I use my phone in bed at night, and every once in a while, Bryce will roll over and he'll say, "Are you ever going to go to sleep?" And so I kind of get a little trouble sometimes. Okay. I'm going to put my cardstock. I'm using the left-hand side of my card. The tree side is the side that I saved for the other. It doesn't really matter a lot. You could use either side for either pattern, but just so you know what I'm doing, I'm using the left-hand side of my card. And I'm just cutting around my cardstock. And it looks like I got a little tiny bit of white showing at the top here. Oops. And I didn't get that cut straight. I kind of pulled a little as I was cutting, so I need to get the bottom part cut straight. There we go. That looks better now. I still actually have a tiny bit here. There we go. Now, we don't like to see people mess with our friends, so I was delighted with the outcome of Roberta's situation, at least for now. And we'll continue to monitor, as I believe her senator will. We'll continue to monitor that situation. And you know, if the senator asks you for an endorsement later, it would be a great thing to give it, because he definitely did his job in this situation, didn't he? He jumped right into action and went to work for you. And that's the kind of elected representatives we want. You know, sometimes it's not so much the party, but the action that people take on our behalf. And just knowing, they're good, decent human beings that care, you know.
Still working on card 4?
No, we're working on card number 5.
C4.
We have one more to go after this one.
So you should be further along.
We are doing great. Our country's so polarized right now, but what we need is elected representatives consistently doing the right things and caring about their constituents. That probably makes more difference than anything else. And sometimes we forget that in the heat of the moment with all the political rhetoric, that what we need is people who care about us. Care about taking care of business, We are zipping right along. Okay, I took these two pieces apart. So we've taken the outside frame, we've put it up on foam squares. And now we have these two pieces left. I'm going to take my glue bottle and I'm going to run a little bead of glue right around the inside of my frame. Oops, that was kind of a bigger bead of glue. I'll be fixing that. Spread that out a little bit. That's not what I wanted. I just want a little bead of glue around in there. It's important. I love your message, Brenda, because it's good for people to know that the government does work, especially our state governments. It's really, really important in this age of cynicism to know that the system can work. Okay, another little wad there, but the reason I'm putting it on inside the ring instead of on this piece is that then I don't have to worry about it getting on my frame when I go to put it in. Yep, and when our elected officials do what they're supposed to do and we reward them with our endorsements and our support, then I think we can encourage continued movement in those directions and maybe stifle some of the nonsense. The feuding, as you put it, the feuding's a good way to put that. So I don't like to talk politics, but I do like to talk process. And in this forum, knowing that the process worked really well for one of our members is super important. I'm going to put my next one up on some foam squares. So I'm putting some foam squares in the center here. Here we go. So I've got my foam squares in there. Get rid of my little extra papers. Okay, and let's put our centerpiece in here. There we go. That's beautiful. That's beautiful right there. But when we get some stickles in it, oh my gosh, it's gonna be even more beautiful. So grab those stickles again. Let's get a little added sparkle going here. If you have another snowflake in your kit, you can toss it on here. I probably will add another snowflake because it's, like I said, it's part of my signature this year. But Brittany's little added snowflakes to your kit, you can use those in whichever cards you like. That was kind of her to go back and cut these and include these for you. Because I told you I wasn't doing it, and then Brittany said, oh, but we need them. And then she put some in for you. So it may or may not be enough for all of your cards, but since I told you they wouldn't be there and then Brittany did them for you, it's just a little gift from Britt. As she looks out for us all. They're just the best, aren't they? My girls here are just the best. Just the best. The bestest. I'm actually even going to put a little bit on those trees in the background. Why not? Just a little bit of stickles on those trees. Let's just get a little sparkle going there too, because this is a winter scene and it's beautiful. And why not? Why not have that? Okay, here we go. Here's number 5 finished, guys. Don't know if you can see my little stickles there, but it's there and it's pretty. And I think just because I can, because I have this little baggie of leftovers here, I want to put a little snowflake up in that corner too, because why not? So, doesn't matter which one you use. It's really a matter of what size matches your design the best. Teddy's back with his ball, dropping it at my feet again. Here he is. Can you hear it? You hear a little tap, 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 tap. They're telling you thank you for the snowflakes, Brittany.
You're welcome.
She says you're welcome, guys. Okay. I'm not going to put that up in that corner. Just because I can. All right. That's number 5. We got one left to go. We're easily going to finish under 2 hours, I think. What time is it, Brittany? Grace is off wandering. 5:20. We're going to finish in just about an hour and a half. Woohoo! Look at us go. Look at us. We're so clever. Okay. Let's grab the rainbow Miri out of your pack. That should be your only mirror board left. You want your remaining A6, European A6 card. And we want this. Oh, where did I miss the? Oh, I missed something on that last card. Let's bring that back. I just realized I had an extra tag. This one that we just did, it gets this especially for you. I really wish they'd spelled it EWE, but they didn't. But it gets this especially for you, diagonal right across the corner. So let's put some foam squares on the back of there. I almost missed that, guys. How did I almost miss that? And we'll peel these off. Hi, Ruth Ann. Welcome. Okay. I'm going to put this right across the corner, just kind of touching the feet of that. I like that angled there. I think that's a fun addition. There we go. Okay, so that one is now done. Okay, next up, go back to this card we were working on. We have our rainbow mirror. We have our European A6. We have this wonderful little sheep. We have the little sheep tag. And we have the season's bleedings, which you will notice runs us completely out of stuff on our topper sheet. Which is good. That's where we want to be. And we will have made most excellent use of our kits, I gotta say. Okay, we're going to cover this card with some mirror board. Ooh. Wow. Look at you, what you've been up to, Ruth Ann. That's fun. Jalapeno jelly relish, sweet pepper relish. Ooh, pickled jalapenos, pickled banana pepper salsa. Wow, that stuff sounds good. That sounds marvelous. Look at what you've been up to. Wowzer. That's a bunch of canning. That's fun, though, isn't it? Isn't it satisfying? Well, I haven't done this in years, by the way, but I have done it. And isn't it satisfying when you home can a bunch of things, you line them all up on your shelf in your pantry, and then just stand back and look at what you've accomplished? That is the most satisfying feeling. Okay, I'm going to flip this over after I put my rainbow mirroring on, and I'm just trimming off the extra. The card will actually remind you to trim off the extra because it won't look right until you trim off the extra. Now, where's my extra piece of cardstock? Where did that go? Here it is. Okay, we have this piece of card left, which will be a very nice fit with our mirror board there. Our card, let's just remeasure to remind ourselves we're at just a little over 4 1/8 by 5 7/8. So we're going to want our length to be 5 5/8 long. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that off. And remember, I'm trimming it off so that I'm using the top of my card. And I want my current measurement is 4 inches. I actually want this to be 3 7/8. So I'm going to trim just a tiny bit off my side, and then we'll see how this looks. And this looks terrific. Okay. Woohoo! Now we're going to use some. Oh, I've done pressure canning as well. I have. I love that. It's very fun. It's also very time consuming and lots of hard work, which explains why I haven't done it in lots of years, but I have done it. Great fun. I love home canned green beans, home canned peaches, home canned pears, home canned tomatoes, water bathed tomatoes. I love all those things. I have done them. Bryce is looking at me like, you haven't done them in the time I've known you. That is true. I have not, but I have done them.
I've done all those things too.
Bryce says he's done all those things too. Your mom was a really avid canner, wasn't she?
Yes, she was.
She was a very avid canner, as was mine, but I've done them out on my own as an adult too. So there you go. Ah, all right. Now I have my scene mounted on my card. All right. Wow, 14 hours a day. Ooh, that's too much. Okay, now the next thing that's going to go on is our topper. And we're going to want to put our topper near the bottom here, guys. And I know we're covering up some of that beautiful tree, and that's hard to do, but it's okay. Go ahead and do it because it's still going to be beautiful when we're done. Oh, you've got green beans planted for fall harvest too. Look at you go. Lady, you are really kicking it. I love that. Margie worked here all week last week with me, every single day from early morning until dark, and I gave her the week off because she was so tired. So was I. I'm still working on the garage and the storage pod, and I'm not going to give up working hard on it until I'm done, because otherwise we'll be talking about this in 3 months and I'll still be at it, and I want to be done. I want to be done. So Margie is a rock star. You are right. She kicked butt last week. I know that's a crude way of putting it, but it's absolutely true. She was just the best help, the absolute best help. And so she's off this week, just kind of getting recouped from a lot of really hard work. Now she's supposed to be taking it easy, and I saw pictures a little while ago where she's laying a new floor in her craft area in her house. So she's not taking it too easy, because Margie's like that. She's always got 17 irons in the fire. But at least I know I'm not working her extra hard here, because that was extra hard work. It really, really was. Ugh. Those boxes coming out of the pod, a lot of those boxes are very heavy. But I will tell you, I got a hold of the people at Scrap. That's the place I told you guys about that does the providing supplies to teachers. And not only do they want all of our donations, they're coming to get them. Yay, Scrap. I'm so proud of you. They're coming to get them, and they're starting tomorrow. And we are going to be delighted to have them begin hauling away some of these boxes I currently have under tarps out there. I don't want those products to get spoiled, so I'm delighted that they're going to start coming to get them tomorrow. And it was kind of funny because I talked to the center. I actually placed 4 different phone calls to we are let's see, I placed 4 different phone calls to this organization, and like every other organization right now, they're strapped because of COVID and staffing shortages and one thing and another. So nobody had gotten back to me from it was actually 1 email and 3 phone calls, and I hadn't heard from them yet. And I was getting agitated, so I called the center director. Next, I'm putting on the bow, guys. Putting on the bow. And the bow is going to go directly at the top of this and then skewed a little bit to the right. Like that. Okay. And so I called the center director, and in the message that I left, I said, you have an absolute treasure trove waiting for you here in Tigard, Oregon. Don't mess this up. Let's get with the program here, guys. And they called back, and he called me yesterday, and he said, well, I'll try and get somebody out there within a couple of weeks to begin picking that, and gathering some of that. But wait a minute, I have to check and make sure if you're in our service area. And I said, oh, we're in your service area. And if we're not, make us in your service area, because you can't afford to miss this. So I put some squares on the back of that one, and I put it kind of at an angle out from the base of my bow, as if it was kind of hooked there. Hi, Daria. And then we said, you want to make sure we're in your service area, trust me. And then he said, well, try and get somebody out there in the next couple of weeks. And I said, well, let's stuff's under tarps right now, and we don't want it to get spoiled, so the sooner the better. And then I started telling him some of what was in it, and he said okay. And then the next thing I knew, it was next week he was going to start collecting things. And then I told him more about what was in it and the volumes we were talking about, and he said Tuesday, we'll get somebody out there Tuesday to start collecting it. And then I told him a little bit more about what was in it, and he's coming personally to pick up the first load tomorrow. Okay, now I want you to put your second tag still at an angle, but kind of hitting with the center of it over the glued down ring in the middle. And now we're going to take, and when you guys are working on yours, I'm sure most of us have dies that have a snowflake. Be sure to try and save a snowflake for this card, because you do have this wide band of pink at the top, and it's going to look really, really good if you put a snowflake up there. So try, if you can, to save one of your snowflakes for this one. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit more glue on my scratch paper here. I'm going to dip this snowflake so I get a little bit on all the little back pieces of my snowflake. You can tell it's warm in here because my glue is drying really fast. And I'm going to pop that down here. Let's see, do we need any stickles? I think everything needs a little stickles. Let's put a little bit of stickles on here. Let's put a little bit down in front of this lamb, sheep. We have kind of a snowy tree here off to the right. Let's put a little bit on the snowy tree that's in the background. Let's put a little bit in this kind of shadowed trees in the background. And then we actually could put a little bit on what snowy branches and things show. Put a little bit on the background card, just over some of those snowy branches. It doesn't have a lot of room to put things on here, but we could put a little bit. Keep my finger out of it, and there's our finished card. That's it, guys. 6 cards. How long, hon? $5.35 means an hour and a half, 6 cards, 6 ultra beautiful cards, I might add. They are all gorgeous, really, really beautiful. They are so fun to make. If you haven't gotten your sets ordered yet, be sure you do, because this is a treasure, this particular set. You don't want to miss this one. It's just fabulous. It's fabulous. So we can take a final look here at what we've just made, and then we'll take a quick look at our other sets. We'll make another set on Saturday. Which one do you guys want to make on Saturday? Oh, what's next? What's next then, honey? What's next on Saturday?
Which is the bird?
So Let It Snow, the swans, the robins, and have I ever tried the glue sponges? I have not. I have not, Ruth Ann. What do you, I haven't even seen them, I don't think. Look what we had left. All we had left out of our kit. This would be a really cute little bookmark or something. See that little cute bunny we've got there? Cut this off in a tag shape, put a string on it, give that to one of the kids as a bookmark. It's absolutely adorable. Put a little bit of stickles on there too. No worries. No worries, Betty. Don't you apologize. You needed to tell me if I was messing you up. So I'm glad that you told me. Don't apologize ever. I'm awfully glad you told me I was not being detailed enough. So there you go. Let's make a bookmark out of this one. This will be really, really cute. Just like I said, trim it off, put a little tag end on it, punch a hole, put one of your pieces of 1/8-inch satin ribbon through that. It will make an absolutely adorable little bookmark. You could make another bookmark out of this and put a little bit of stickles on some of these snowflakes. They'd be adorable too. Adorable. Okay, let's see what we just did. What we did today. We did especially for you. If my hand shakes, it's just because I'm holding these way out at an angle, guys. So, oh, Bryce is going to come in a little bit more so I don't have to hold them out so far. You can see my rough hands. That's from digging in boxes, all the paper cuts. Beautiful, the one we just now completed. Then we have our hair with the unusual design, but isn't it cute? It's super cute. There's one more thing I would be tempted to do if I were you, and you have them. Take an AB stone and stick in the middle of these snowflakes. Take one of your Aurora Borealis gems and stick right in the middle of that snowflake. Would take it from adorable to absolutely magical if you put some AB gems in the centers of these snowflakes. There's our beautiful deer. Here's our first card with our wonderful stickles and I can reach this one. It's almost out of my reach. There it is. Okay. And then we have the wonderful deer. This is maybe one of my favorites right here. It's so simple, but so pretty. They're just so peaceful and beautiful. Okay, let's take a look at what we're making on Saturday then. On Saturday, we have 6 cards. We have our beautiful robin. Beautiful robin. We have our exquisite swans. Really, really pretty. Another swan scene. Don't forget to pick up the inserts for these guys. The inserts just add everything to them. They're just spectacular. And here's my robin. We actually put the little topper up in the trees. I thought that was adorable. Here's our swan, the little swan. Look at this now. This is so special because the topper is actually really small, but the background for this cardstock is so beautiful that the toppers don't even look small. Gorgeous. And here's our robin. These are our cards for Saturday. If you didn't get your kits yet, get these. I don't know. How are we doing on kits, Brittany? Are we starting to get close to running out of some of them, or are we still doing okay?
We still have 5 of each of the ones that come with the topper.
Okay. We're down to 5 each of the kits that come with the toppers, guys. So,
Some of the ones.
huh?
Some of them we have 5.
Okay.
More, some we have more.
Okay. So be sure that you grab those kits if you want them, because they're not going to last. They're beautiful. Let's take a look at what we have coming up next week. I'm not sure which day is which, but
Penguins are going to be on Thursday.
this one's next Thursday, Brittany tells me. Here we go. Penguins on Thursday.
You're welcome.
And here we go. Here's the other penguins. So, so pretty. I love the mountains in this one. This is next Thursday's class. And we have one more class after that, which is our polar bears. Here's our polar bears. This will be a week from Saturday. The 11th, Brittany tells me. Polar bear. Another polar bear. This looks like the Aurora Borealis happening behind them. See the pink in the skies? It's beautiful. So beautiful. Each kit is making 6 cards. For some reason, I have 5 here. Oh, there it is. There it is. Thank you, Mary. The polar bears are 1 week from Saturday. Beautiful. Don't forget to get your inserts, guys. There we go. That is it, my friends. Does anyone have any questions, comments, or pearls of wisdom before we head out for tonight? You guys stay safe out there. Stay well. On your Thursday evening, make some beautiful cards. If you haven't done so yet, yes, please mash that thumbs up button. I'm not sure why we just went out of focus. Our camera's all wanky at the moment. But Thanks for hanging out with me. I guess it's correcting itself gradually.
It's fine on my side.
Huh. It's just my signal to the TV.
Yeah.
And hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. And we will see you on Saturday at 2 o'clock Pacific time. That time's going to vary for you across the country and around the world. So set a reminder so your system will tell you what time it is in your area. And we will see you then. Until then, let me just say good night, Gracie.